All right, so hello and welcome to today's webinar on how to do business with BGIS. My name is Isabel Maroney and I'm a marketing manager here at MERX, which is part of the MDF Commerce Strategic Sourcing sector of activity. Our goal today is to make sure that you leave the webinar with a better sense of how you can find and compete for potential business opportunities with BGIS. I am also joined here today with Angie Stockley and John Castelhano, and I will let Angie speak to that. And so for today, we'll do a little bit of some introductions, then we'll talk about the BGIS advantage, and then we'll jump into some MERX overview and demonstration. And of course, we'll respond to your questions as we go along and how you can contact us. So I will pass over the microphone to Angie.
Thank you, Isabel, and thank you to all attendees for taking the time out of your busy day to participate. We hope you get great value from this session and look forward to answering any questions at the end or as follow-up. I'm Angie Stockley, VP of Marketing and Communications for the MDF Commerce Strategic Sourcing sector, which includes the integrated products of MERX, BidNet, and ASC. Our partnership with BGIS, a global leader in the provision of facility management, project delivery, energy and sustainability, asset management, workplace advisory, and real estate services, is long-standing, mutually beneficial, and successful. And we are very pleased today to introduce John Castelhano, VP Strategic Sourcing and Procurement North America for BGIS, as our guest speaker. John is a valued customer and partner and a key member of our customer advisory board. The core of his vision is to continuously drive best value and savings to his clients through a true best practice procurement model that includes a highly engaged team of more than 100 procurement professionals, an innovative technology ecosystem, including the MERX platform, and a strong supplier network, which we hope might include you. To that end, with John, we'll explore how to do business with BGIS, but first we'll start with a little background or context on MERX and BGIS corporately. Some of you, perhaps not all, know that we proudly launched our new brand, MDF Commerce, in September. MDF Commerce is a pioneer in trade technologies with a SaaS technology offering for strategic sourcing, unified commerce, supply chain, and marketplaces. Founded in 1996 and public since 2000, we've been providing sourcing and procurement solutions for over 30 years, starting in the US. We have over 600 employees and revenues over 75 million. This rebrand is part of our unifying strategy focused on significant innovation and growth over the coming years. MERX is core to the strategic sourcing sector, which also encompasses our best of breed CLM product, ASC, BidNet Direct, which is the brand used in the US for the same MERX technology backbone, and other companies that are focused on vendor opportunity and networks. Together, essentially, we enable the flow of commerce. I'll do a handover to you, John, now to take us through a little bit about the BGIS.
Thank you, Angie. Thank you, Isabel. And good morning, everyone. It's great to have this opportunity to talk about BGIS. I've been with BGIS since 2012, and I'm a very proud member of this exciting organization. And our technically led approach has really a great platform for us to build on and expand the services that we deliver our clients in helping them to manage their real estate assets and portfolios. In total, there's 240 million square feet of real estate that we manage. So that's 15,000 locations. And BGIS has been in this business 26 years, and we're managing over $3 billion of client spend. So, relentlessly focusing on enabling innovation, one of our taglines, right? And I have to say, it's a really exciting place to be right now at this time in the corporate real estate industry with so much opportunity for us. when you think about real estate management services, so there's a whole suite of services, a full range of consulting and facility management, property management services. So we're helping our clients with all their traditional FM categories, day-to-day building maintenance, cleaning, hard services, soft services. We have over 600 people who help our clients with their project delivery. So we manage renovations, changes, additions, new builds for our clients. We have a technical professionals and sustainability services team. And those three pillars are, really technically led. And we also support, of course, the real estate management, the brokerage side of the business. We can provide those services as well. And we've got a strong workplace solutions team that help to assist our clients in ensuring that they're getting full utilization of their real estate assets with regards to people, places, and locations. BGIS is a leader in sustainability. It's one of our core values. We put a lot of effort and leadership and time into ensuring we're always making decisions that consider the environment. We publish an annual sustainability report that's available for public consumption, and we're making tremendous gains in helping to drive the industry to reduce its impact on the environment and drive savings and other benefits that we can realize in corporate real estate. Corporate responsibility, corporate social responsibility is also very important to us. We've got a very strong health and safety program. We've got some awards here for recent from Corporate Knights and the Clean 50. So we're really proud of our accomplishments in those categories, and the efforts continue. In terms of optimizing the opportunity, I think Angie, you had some thoughts here as well.
What this session is all about, as mentioned, is to provide a better sense of how you can find and be found and compete for potential business opportunities with BGIS, and to that end, an understanding of how to use the BGIS portal powered by MERX is really important. So we'll talk about that a little bit later, but really it's your time to compete and share in these supply opportunities, and there are ways you can optimize by categories and things like that. So we'll take a little bit of a look at that on the next slides.
Sure thing. If you could just go to the next slide. So we have over $450 million of services needs across Canada, and we post over 10,000 opportunities. So tons of opportunity for our service providers. We've got a very broad scope, and we're in many different locations, many different categories. So it's important for us to be able to partner with quality service providers to help us deliver the full suite of services to our clients. And I think that's what today's all about, is to help our service providers do business with BGIS and give you more information and give you more opportunities. We've got clients in a whole bunch of sectors, right? So we're really proud of all the services that we deliver: financial institutions, the telecommunications business, the government. Those are probably three of our top client sectors, but we're also in healthcare, oil and gas, in critical environments, and utilities and retail. So a very diverse portfolio of clients that we have. Clients who are very in good standing financially and secure, and so we feel it's a very positive space for us to be in, and we've got strong financial backing. In terms of the categories, so we do deploy a category management philosophy, and these are some of the more traditional higher spend categories that we service, and construction, general contracting, cleaning, HVAC, janitorial, landscaping, snow. So all the mechanical services. Tremendous opportunities for us to partner with suppliers across Canada.
Yeah, and here I just wanted to interject as well. We'll dig into this a little bit further when Isabel moves into the demo. But the category, how you define your profile and how accurate and update your information, how make sure you have the right categories. You're properly classifying your business helps ensure that you're found by the BGIS buyers, which can lead to courtesy emails and invites, to unpublished opportunities if you're a qualified vendor. And they're really critical for establishing things like your saved searches and setting up your automated notifications on matching opportunities. So, this here, the category aspect, critically important. And John, I know we've all been seeing announcements from different levels of government regarding significant financial and economic stimulus packages, which entail a large number of opportunities with significant total value that are managed directly by BGIS on behalf of clients such as Public Services and Procurement Canada or PSPC. Could you give us some more detail around those opportunities specifically?
Oh, absolutely, Angie. Thank you. Yeah, that's something I wanted to comment a little on today. The government is looking at stimulus, right, as part of their program to help recover from COVID and help boost the economy. So our project managers and the people who are involved in our public procurement accounts are right now ramping up a tremendous pipeline of new projects and opportunities. And all of that activity is certainly designed to be accessible to service providers across Canada, and will be posted on the MERX platform. So I really strongly encourage the industry to monitor and be engaged and submit proposals for these great opportunities. It's certainly one of the levers that the government can deploy to help us to rebuild the economy, strengthen the economy, and recover from a lot of the disruption that's happened this year resulting from the pandemic.
All right, as we said, it's time for you to compete for your share of these supply opportunities. So now Isabel will take us through exactly how you can do that with a demo of the BGIS portal powered by MERX.
Thank you, Angie. I had to unmute myself. So we'll go over for this demonstration today is your registration with the BGIS powered by MERX portal. Also, we'll talk about how to find bids and opportunities, saving your searches, and then there are ways to also receive those saved search notifications. We'll go through an opportunity abstract, and then we're absolutely going to go through the bid submission process, and then we'll talk a little bit about some of the awards and bid results that you can view after the fact. So I did notice that there's quite a few of you that actually have a MERX.com subscription. So one of the things that's nice there to mention is that it's through your MERX.com subscription or your MERX.com access that you can create those saved search notifications. So let me switch over here. So this is the BGIS powered by MERX portal. This is the live version that you can view today. If you went in today, and you could look under the open solicitations tab, and then you can view all of the open solicitations that are available there. You can also have a look at the closed solicitations from here. And then you can view historically all that information. And in this case too, there are some bid results that are available. In order to see awards, you need to be logged in or registered in order to see those awards. Now for today's demonstration, I will be using our learning environment because I don't want to be submitting any pretend bids to some real solicitations. So I have created a few solicitations here in this case so that we can go through the process. But before we do that, let's go ahead and click on that register button so we can start off by how to register here. So it's pretty straightforward. It's a 4-step registration where you enter your information. So I will do that real quick. And then I am in Ottawa. Whoops. We'll leave all this information here. I'm in Eastern, and I will create a username. In this case, I can choose to either keep an email address or make my own desired username in this case. Then I create a password, and I repeat that password. And the next step is to make sure to agree to the terms and conditions here by clicking that tick box. Then you click on next, and then you get to the, I don't know what this is, sorry. I get to the subscription package, which is $250 per year, and that gives you access to all open solicitations as well as by invitation solicitations. So I do know that somebody did ask a question about that, but we'll get back to that in a moment. So we'll go ahead and click on next. And then from here, you would enter your credit card information to make that payment. I won't go through that process because I do have other users that we will use for today. And then once you've entered that information, you will get your confirmation. And what that is an email that you receive in your inbox that allows you to activate your account. So within that email, there's a link that you click and you will be able to view, activate your account from there.
And just to reiterate, the volume of opportunities that come up here, over or close to 40,000 solicitations have already been awarded through the BGIS platform.
All right, so I will log into my account. So now I find myself logged into the system. Those of you who know MERX.com, this looks very familiar to you already. From the left-hand side under the status section, we can quickly see at a glance the number of open solicitations, closed solicitations, and awarded solicitations. Again, we're in our Learn environment, so it doesn't look like there's that many, but in the live version, of course, those numbers would be much higher. And then, of course, you have your invitations only. If you wanted to click that tick box, then it would take you to the results on the right-hand side. This is a similar search to anywhere that you want to search. You can use the categories section found below, which was mentioned earlier in the presentation. This is one way that you could search if you wanted to simply click one of those categories, and then it will repopulate the information found on the right hand side. So you'll see those results appear as you click different elements, and then the results change. If you wanted to search by location, you could do so as well. And then there's all the other options that are available that you can play with the different various categories and sections. If you like the results that you find here, you can save that search. So I'm just going to go ahead and save this search. What I have to do from this point is create a name for this saved search. I'm just going to call it webinar for today as our example, but I'm setting that as my default search, which means when I log in to my account, I will see the results of this saved search as soon as I log in. I can untick that box. I can change my mind later, and I will show you how to do that. We'll click on save, and now I have that in my saved search listing found here. Now, if I wanted to make any changes to that, I could go to the solicitation navigation menu and then click on save search. And then you'll notice that I have my saved searches available here, and I can go ahead and click that little tick box to make that my default search. So every time I log in, the results of that saved search would be here. So I could change this also if I wanted to by clicking on the pencil. And if I wanted to go in here and make changes to the categories that I'm looking for, I could do so in that way. And make any of those types of changes. Now, if you do have a MERX.com subscription package, you can set up your notifications to receive emails of these saved searches. So if you were creating a saved search for BGIS, or you could use a specific category as it relates to BGIS. Just make sure that you have the word BGIS in your saved search, and then you can set up your notifications of that saved search. So I'll just go back to my search. And then from here, I can go ahead and have a look at a solicitation from here. You have your basic information available here. This is the one that I have for today's example, so I'll click on that title. In this case, in some cases, you will notice that there's a required acknowledgement, so you need to accept or decline. In some cases, you may not come across this situation, but in this case, I need to accept that required acknowledgement. So here we are, we find ourselves in an open solicitation. We have the big clock here that tells us about the time left to bid. And this is aligned with the National Research Council clock. So anything as it relates to the timing of this solicitation or your bid submission will always be referred to as with that following that clock. So under the notice section, we have our basic information about this solicitation. So we can scroll through and get that type of information, the details on the location of where the work is to take place, dates of publication, questions acceptance deadline, any other information that we need to know, the contact information of the buyer responsible for this solicitation. It's important to mention this because they may be the person that you would need to contact if you had questions, but you would always have to refer to the bidder's documents for more information about that. In here, I've already accepted my required acknowledgement. In this case, there is a pre-bidding event that has the details of this pre-bidding event, so you could view the instructions found there. And then my bid submission process, in this case, of course, is electronic bid submission with a lump sum pricing. And then there's a bid document list, and we will get to that when we get to the documents. So categories is the section of the category type that this solicitation is categorized under. And then we get to the documents here. So these are all the documents as it relates to the solicitation. So you will find your bidder's instructions in here, any other information that's pertinent that you need to read and understand fully. I'm just looking over to see if there's any questions as it relates to what we're talking about. So there's a lot of questions about getting invited to bid on projects. I will see if John can respond to that question specifically. Oh, you're on mute. Oh, there you go.
There we go. Thanks, Isabel. You know, maybe I'll take a minute to just give some additional context here. You know, we pride ourselves in our public procurement accounts on being open, fair, transparent, and accessible. So open meaning the opportunities are open, they're public procurement, so they're accessible to anyone to see and bid on. You know, we have a very core value, a critical core value of unwavering integrity, and that plays well into how we address fairness, right? So fairness of evaluation, treating everybody the same. We put a lot of work into that and a lot of effort to make sure that there's no bias in our evaluations or in our proposal, in our specification writing. So being fair is a critical component. Being transparent, so providing the results of who won the award, and then being accessible for debriefs, right? I think that's really important to us as well. So if service providers who may not have been successful have questions or want to understand how we came to certain conclusions, we are available on request to support them in hopes that future opportunities they can have a chance to be successful. And the fourth one is being accessible, right? So really that's why we're here with MERX, because MERX is accessible through this platform to anyone across the country, and it supports our whole supplier sustainability and outreach program and connecting with traditionally underrepresented groups. So we've got a lot of effort also going into networking with industry groups, whether they're consultings, the Construction Association, minority, diversity groups, women business organizations. So a lot of outreach happening in our business to draw attention to these great opportunities. So getting invited to bids on public procurement, you're already invited because they're open. And if you're interested in developing relationships on our private sector accounts where the bidding is more by invite, there's tools on our corporate website that allow you to submit applications for engagement, and we're happy to we receive those and we forward those to the appropriate team members.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks. There's the website there,
yeah.
BGIS.com. Thank you for pulling that up, Isabel. So
of course,
I would like to really encourage the listeners to visit our corporate website, BGIS.com. And there's a banner page and who we are, and then there's a supplier section. We put a lot of work into this supplier section to have a whole host of resources available to our providers. What are the requirements? So all the details around qualifications, our contract terms and conditions, our requirements for health and safety, billing procedures, and how our whole work order management system works, and our vendor performance program. So you'll see a whole host of documentation and resources on that site, as well as orientation videos. And if you scroll just a little bit further down, Isabel, here's where we've got a couple more links to, you can apply to become a service provider. You have links to certain other business groups in our network of accounts, and we also maintain a link here that takes you to the bid portal, and as well, if you want to just send us an email. I get a lot of these emails myself, but we do make it a point to be accessible and responsive to service providers, and to help you guys to realize more opportunities in our network.
Great, thank you. I will go back to how to set that up in your categories of your profile. I just jumped right into the solicitations. I will come back when I'm done explaining the solicitation, and then I will show you how to do that from your profile. All right, so in this case, you have access to the tender documents, and you can go ahead and download these documents since we're already logged in. We can also use the download button found at the top here, and then that just simply takes us through sort of like an online, shopping cart, if you will. And so you could just go ahead and select all of those documents and then download them all from here, and then just save them to whichever folder you want to save them from, or save them to. And I have them now downloaded. So now if I, go back, and then I can continue here. In this case, there is a questions and answers section. For this solicitation, the buyer responsible for the solicitation has enabled the questions and answers functionality, which means that you can ask a question directly to the buyer responsible here, and then they can choose to either answer you in private or respond and create a public question and answer in this case. So you'll notice that there's a question that's already been asked and it's already been answered, but I don't see any information as to who has asked this question or anything. So just so you know that if someone else asks a question, you're not going to see who the other folks are that have asked a question. It's pretty straightforward. You click on the ask a question and then enter your question as an example, and you submit your question, and then now that question, I can see that I've asked this question. The only reason why this is important to mention is because if you see a long list of questions, then you'll know which ones belong to you by looking in the little parentheses here. So I know that that's my question. I guess I named myself new test. I didn't realize, but there you go. So that's the Q&A. And then the audit section is obviously an audit of all of the activities as it relates to this specific solicitation. Of course, you can go ahead and place a bid at this time, but usually we would be taking all of those documents and reading them fully, completely understanding them to make sure that we understand what the instructions are and that we can prepare our proposal as it relates to what the instructions are. And then we would come back to the site so that we could place our bid. So I will go.
Can I just jump in for a second,
Please.
Isabel?
Of course.
I really want to stress how important it is to, the people who are submitting proposals to read those instructions carefully. Because we are practicing public procurement, we have to treat everyone fairly and the same way. And it's a real shame when we receive a proposal and it's missing several critical elements, that are clearly defined in the mandatory requirements. And so to be fair to the other bidders, often those end up being disqualified, right? And that's a real shame. So I just wanted to, again, have your proposals double, triple checked before you hit the release button, and be very careful and ask questions, right? If you're not sure what our terminology is, or if you're not sure what we're asking for, maybe a question around security or completeness, we really try and put a lot of effort into being accessible to answer those questions. And again, we do see quite a bit of activity that we have to, we're not able to open those bids because they may be missing critical documents. So just wanted to really put a shout out here to how important it is to your bid teams to review those packages before they're submitted.
Absolutely. I know that one thing that we always recommend as well is to make sure that you have different people within your organization to read those to make sure that it makes sense. So if you need like a legal person to read the terms and conditions, or I don't know, you'll have different people that might refer to technical aspects of what you're submitting or what have you. So it ends up that you have a large group of people within your organization that help respond. I will skip over to the little person icon in the right-hand side over here so that we can go through that information as it relates to your profile and your categories. So under here, we go to My Profile, and then from here, this relates to your information personally, specifically. So as it relates to your username and password, your personal information, like name, email address, and your address. And then we have also your preferences in this section here. But as I scroll below, it also provides me with my role and privileges for my user account. Now, if I go up here and then I go into my organization, from here, if I was a supplier admin for our account for our organization, I could add other people within my organization. If a lot of people are working from home now, so if you need someone else in your organization to be available to submit a bid on your behalf, then you can add them as a person underneath your organization here. So you would simply click on the little pencil here under the organization information, and then from here you would be able to add, oops, maybe I did that wrong, sorry. I will come back to that. Under here, the other information, this is what John was mentioning earlier, where you can select through the various categories here. If you're a woman-owned organization, I know that someone asked a question for incentives as it relates to Indigenous companies. I believe there is a tick box for that, or a certification here. It's one of these anyways. You have to enter your information as it relates to if there's a certification that is connected to that type of business type, or you can select any of these. You can add more information about your organization in this case. And so when a buyer is looking for specific types of organizations, then they would be able to find you through their search on there and when they're logged into their buyer account. And then in here, you could select your working category. So this is what we've been mentioning since the beginning. You can go in here and select the type of category that your organization is found under. So if the buyer was looking for someone that matches your categories, then they would be able to find you. So you could go in here and select the type of categories that you want. So now it's connected to your organization. Were you going to add something? Oh, I thought someone was going to add something. And then under the advertisement information, you can include information, additional information about your organization. You could upload a logo. You could have a description of your company in English and in French, highlights of your products. So this becomes like your marketing page of your specific organization within the portal here. If you have any promotional material, you could add that information found here. So save that, and then everything would be appearing in here. And then the contact was under this section of the pull down menu. So I simply click on contacts, and then from here, if I wanted to add anyone else from my organization to here, I would just simply go ahead and click add contact. You would give them a username and then fill out all of the details as it relates to what you want them to have. One thing to mention is the temporary access. If you want them to have temporary access, you can decide that from here. Just enter the specific dates, and then they will receive an email and be able to activate their account. And of course, here you can select which privileges you want that person to have. You could select the different ones and save that. So that's how you add a contact. If you did want to add any sub organizations, you could do so as well by clicking on add sub organization. That I believe is straightforward. Finance is the section that has your information as it relates to your credit card, and then your services relates to the type of subscription package that you have. All right. Under the little question icon here, you can click there, and we do have some tutorials that are available there that you can view if you're looking for some help, with your electronic bid submission, for example. Then you can go ahead and watch that video, or you could always contact us if you needed additional help. Under the solicitations menu here, we also have bid management. So this is basically a menu. I'm a new user, so I don't have any historical information to show you here, but basically this would be my listing of any of the bids that I've been working with. So I would be able to find them through this menu here. And then if I had fulfilled any of the qualifications, then I would have that information available from this place. Under reports, there is a dashboard here where you can pull any newsfeed information. So as it relates to any of the solicitations that you clicked on following, then you could go ahead and go through all of the listing here of the types that you're looking for to do a search. And then of course your bids are found below. And management reports is as relates to any of the transactions that you have with MERX. So if you're looking for your statement for the month or for the year, then you can go ahead and click here, and then that will ask you a little bit more as it relates to the parameters, and then you'll be able to have your report from there. So let's go back and find that solicitation, and we will submit a bid from here. So this is the one that I wanted to submit a bid to for today's example. So I just need to get back to the solicitation. And then of course we'll go ahead and click on place bid. And then it's asking me if I want to place a new bid or place a no bid. Now, if I do place a no bid, this notifies the buyer, of course, that you are choosing not to place a bid, but you can go back, withdraw, and change your mind if you want to. I can show that to you after the fact, but here for this example, we'll go ahead and place a new bid, and then we can see our closing date and time just above. Let's click on continue, and it's a quick and easy 3-step process. I always recommend that you do this at least an hour before closing date and time. You want to make sure that you have enough time to upload your documents, especially if you have like large plans and specifications or, you know, so many documents that it takes a long time to upload them. So do yourself a favor and at least start your submission well in advance of the closing date and time. You don't want to get disqualified because you didn't submit your bid on time. And keep in mind that once you've submitted your bids, even if you submit them in advance, the buyer on the other side won't have access to your documents until after the closing date and time. So that also is reinforcing the fact of keeping things open, fair, and transparent for all bidders. Is the bid submission history and qualification history per user or per organization? Dan is asking that question. I believe it's by the bid history is by user, so it relates to your account as you're logged in. All right. It's pretty straightforward. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and browse for my files. I could also do a drag and drop if I wanted to. So I have some, you know, some fun pretend documents, if you will, that I'm uploading. So I've selected 3. I click on upload and mine went pretty quickly because my files aren't very big, but you can see that it took a little bit of time to process those documents. One thing that I do love is the zip file upload. So when you do that, if you're like me and you want to make sure that your files and folders are all well organized, you can use one of those zip folders. Now let me open that. It will upload the document and it will keep the structure of my document and folders and within the documents. So you'll see here that it's kept my information in that way that I wanted it to have to be structured. And if you need to remove a document, simply click anywhere there's an action column with the little widget here. You can just use the pull down menu and remove your documents as needed. So that's basically the drag and drop function. So go ahead and click on next. And in this case, they're asking me to enter the total bid price. So I will put any amount. Click on next, and then you get to your bidder compliance and authentication. So basically, the person that is submitting the bid, so you enter their name, and I will put my name, and then my password that I used to log in, and then I submit my bid. Whoops, wrong password. I apologize. Oh boy. What have I done? I must be using the wrong password. All right, do I want to proceed with my submission? Yes, I do. And then we get to our confirmation screen, which goes exactly right down to the second. So I know that I have submitted my bid. I have a confirmation number that I can download a PDF version for my records, or I can just go ahead and print this screen. When I go back to my bid management, I think this will answer your question, Dan. This is the bid that I have submitted. So under my bid management, under that menu, it shows me that I have submitted this bid. And if I need to make any changes, again, under the actions column, you can click on the little widget. You can view it, you can modify your bid price, or you could withdraw and resubmit a new bid. So I think that answers your question. All right. You could do searches here when you have a longer history of bids that you've submitted. You will be able to search for them through the search field. I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Oh, I know. I wanted to go ahead and show you the so when this is the live BGIS.MERX.com site. Now, if I scroll down here, I can view the listing of open solicitations. You can go ahead and view that today if you wanted to. We can also view the historical information of closed solicitations. So this is interesting because you can go and view anything that was open is now closed. So it gives you a sense of the types of solicitations that have been posted in the past. So that can give you some really interesting information as it relates to whatever your good and service is, or your, I don't know, construction projects. So you can get some interesting historical information as to what's out there. And then in this case, we can see the bid results for some of these. So when you go in and have a look at that, you're able to view that this solicitation is closed, and then the notice information about it. And then if I scroll down to the bid results section, I can view the results of this bid. But in order to see the award and extend that information even further, you need to be logged into your account. So I will go back to our learning environment, and we will switch over to awarded solicitations, but I will just deselect everything, and we'll have a quick look at what an award might look like. And so in this case, you'll see that the award section of the solicitation is now available, and now I can come and have a look at the awardee, and then the information as it relates to the amount the contract was, or the awarded value for that contract. And you can see here in this case, it's a split award. So they won part of the award, and then they won the other side of the award. So valuable information for you as you go out there and compete. You can see maybe what your competitors are up to and the dollar value for which those awards were awarded. So let me skip back over to our presentation. And we're going to jump into the questions. So David is asking, do we have to have a MERX account in order to register for MERX BGIS? You do not. You can only sign up for the bgis.merx.com if you like. David is at, or do we have, oh, a paid MERX account, I see. You do not have to have a paid MERX account if you want to register for the MERX BGIS portal. Sean is asking, how do I get from my current MERX portal to the BGIS-MERX portal, or is this a completely separate portal and login? So that answer, there's two answers to that. Let me get back to, all right, so where I am here is on the BGIS portal, because you can see the BGIS logo at the top. Now, if I were on merx.com, did you want to add something, Angie? Oh, sorry. If I were on merx.com and I did a search for BGIS in the general search of merx.com, then I would be able to see those solicitations found on MERX. I'm not logged in. I'm open. If I was looking for RP1 or RP2, I could click on the little magnifying glass, and then I would be able to see all of those solicitations. When I click on the title, it will take me to that portal, but if I want to do any activity as it relates to what's happening here on BGIS, then I need to register or log in from this place. So that will answer your question, Sean. Leo is asking, how do we sign up for the BGIS portal location? I'm sorry, I missed that part. Just simply click on the register and follow that process. Elaine is asking, are DOS sponsorships necessary for all bids for BGIS? I think that might be a question for John. Oh,
here we go. Yes, DOS security is a requirement to be able to execute work at our PSPC locations.
okay. Thank you. Yana is asking, so do we need to pay the $250 to bid on BGIS solicitations? Yes. The answer is yes. You need to
I think
register.
it's, if I could just say, it's yes, but it provides you unlimited bidding opportunity on the BGIS platform for a whole year, right? So
Yes, exactly. David, what percentage of opportunities are in Western Canada? Do you have historical breakdown of number of opportunities by province, say for 2019 or 2020? Ooh,
we can take that request away, and
yeah.
that might be something I can share as a follow-up.
Okay.
If you do closed bids, you could download that
Yeah.
and do an analysis as well.
Yeah, definitely you can go and look at the historical information. And then we have Leo asking, will my normal search engines work on BGIS that I use on regular MERX? Yes, absolutely. If you're on MERX.com, you can set up your saved searches to search for those BGIS related solicitations, and then you'll be notified of them. David is asking, do we have statistics on the number of IT jobs over as well as by province, specifically in Western Canada? Again, it's a search, but I don't know if John wants to add to that.
I'm sorry, I wasn't clear on the question.
It was the statistics on number of IT jobs.
We're not on this portal. We haven't been posting too many IT sort of software applications or hardware. There are some, but I'd have to circle back. It's probably not a high quantity.
Okay, thank you. Leo is asking for a copy of the presentation. Yeah, we'll make the recording and the presentation available to all. Rizwan is asking, do you offer email alerts about the new RFPs based on a specific search criteria? As it is now, it is available on MERX.com. On MERX.com, you can register for a free subscription package, and then you will be able to receive those notifications. But on the BGIS portal, that functionality is coming soon. And then Sierra is asking, we signed up for the BGIS Bell portal, but the supplier qualification application has been sitting there for 6 months. This is specific to you and your account, so I would recommend that you contact the buyer within the solicitation that you are looking at, and then go through them to get that detail. And Sean is asking, we have multiple franchises throughout Canada. That being said, would each franchise need to set up their account and individually pay the $250 yearly subscription fee? If you want, that might be a question for John, where as it relates to legalities, because I'm not sure for the franchises how that works. But you can create sub-organizations. That might be an option.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we encourage people to leverage a consolidated profile where you can.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense. Absolutely. So that's Sean's question. Graham is asking, I may have missed this, but is BGIS geared primarily for GC bidding? Is there a separate way for subs to further bid?
We're geared to both subs and GCs on our construction project work. We have standing offer agreements that come up on I think it's a 2-year term for trades, so electrical, roofing, lighting, HVAC, etc. And then there's also project bids that come up where maybe a GC is a better fit, but we certainly do reach out to all levels of industry, and it's open, right? So anyone can submit a proposal.
Exactly. Thank you. So I don't see any other questions, but if you do have additional questions outside of this webinar, you can contact MERX as it relates to the BGIS portal. Same phone number, 1-800-964-MERX. And you can email us also at bgis@merx.com. And I did show you that bgis.com link, so it is available here in this website. I'll just quickly go back to that over here. So if you want to contact BGIS directly or get more information about as it relates to becoming a service provider, you can get additional information found here. Any final notes from anyone?
I just wanted to say thank you, Isabel, for doing the great demo and the webinar facilitation as well. And thank you, John, for the valuable background and insights on BGIS. Attendees, we definitely recommend that you take the time to visit the BGIS corporate site to learn more about their vendor focus, as well as the BGIS procurement portal powered by MERX to review the list of diverse opportunities and to register to ensure you optimize your chance to supply for the product and service requirements there. We're talking about over 10,000 opportunities posted per year at a value of over 450 million. So the opportunity is substantial. And of course, we always recommend you visit MERX as well. And MERX and BGIS, we are always here and available to help if you have questions or whatever might be required. So don't hesitate to reach out.
And I do notice that there's other questions. I believe that they're more specific to you and your account. So we'll respond to those questions outside of the webinar. I don't have anything else to add. I am mindful of the time. We have 1 more minute. So I don't know if John wanted to add any final words.
I do. And I just wanted to thank everyone for attending. It's one of my objectives to make it easier for service providers to do business with BGIS. And that's evidenced by this outreach, this program. So thank you to MERX for helping to facilitate this call. And again, I encourage you guys to leverage the resources and the communication tools that we've made public. And we hope that if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. So thank you, Angie. Thank you, John. And thank you, everyone, for being here today. And those questions that did pop up after the question period will respond outside of the webinar. And we will make this recording available to you as well as the slide deck. So thanks again, and I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.